Hey guys, Justin here. Today I'm going to be talking about the movement from SF Yoyos. The movement is a beautiful yo-yo. It's made out of 7068 aluminum. It's got this flat inner cup here, but otherwise a lot of rounded over edges. It feels really nice in the hand. It's got a really good satiny finish. People constantly rave about how great this yo-yo is, so I thought I'd pick it up and give it a shot, and it does not disappoint. The movement doesn't seem to be too rim weighted. It seems like the weight is pretty evenly distributed throughout. If you look at the rims, they are not very beefy. The finish feels really nice and high quality. It comes with a string centering bearing, looks like a center track. I'm going to string this up with some Airetic, take it through a few tricks, and see how it performs.
The music you're hearing in the background is by Timid. You should check out his SoundCloud in the description below. During Cold Fusion to Kamikaze, it moves around nicely without too much effort, but it does feel a little bit on the heavier side. I did have some issues with hitting the wrong strings occasionally, and I could sometimes feel string rub. On Skin the Gerbil, the movement seems like it takes a small bit of effort to get moving and change directions quickly. I didn't feel too much resistance with strings in the gap, but a little bit. I could see the yo-yo lean if I tried to push and go fast, probably due to the layers of string in the gap rubbing against or near the pads. During Bouncy Castle, the movement bounces well. It doesn't feel light, but it's not quite heavy. It's a little bit on the heavier side, but not heavy. Sometimes it would snap back to my hand if there was too much string in the gap. On Calypso, it grinds for a very long time if you can get your finger in the right spot, and it's very easy to get your finger in the right spot. During finger spin, with the flat cup, when it's parallel to the ground, you get some wobble. At an angle though, it's a fantastic finger spinner. It wasn't super difficult to get the horizontal. The movement is designed in such a way that the string is unlikely to touch the walls, but if it does start to touch, it's pretty much over.
Okay, so I'm going to do things differently in this review and probably all my reviews going forward. We'll see how well it plays out. I'm going to assign number values to the characteristics of this yo-yo. Lower does not necessarily mean better. It's going to be more like tight versus wide or light versus heavy. It's not necessarily good or bad, it's just how I think it feels. I'm gonna grade all of these between 1 and 7. So 4 would be like average. So you take 100 yo-yos, you play all of them. 4 would be the center point. 7 would be the max point, 1 is the min point. So there are 2 points between the middle and the extremes. I hope that's enough granularity to get across how I feel these yo-yos play. The spin time, I would give a 5 out of 7. I think that it is well above average. It is not exceedingly amazing, but it's really good. It's definitely not, once again, average is not bad. Average is good, and this is better than good. In terms of stability, I'd give a 3 out of 7, slightly below average. It's tough to grade stability on this one because I don't feel like I am put in a position that will cause this yo-yo to lean very often. But when I am put in that position, the yo-yo does lean easily. So on the positive, I don't feel like you're going to usually cause this yo-yo to lean. On the negative, if your string play is inaccurate or if something rubs up against the side, it will lean pretty easily. With 7 being very weighted and 1 being very light, I would say this is slightly above average in terms of weight. It plays slightly heavier, not extremely heavy, but slightly heavier. In terms of gap width, 1 would be very tight gap and 7 would be very wide gap, meaning a lot of slips, 1 being more snags. I would put this at a 3, where it is slightly snaggier. With multiple strings in the gap, you can feel the yo-yo have some resistance against the string. Movability is kind of similar to weight, I would say, where 1 would be that this yo-yo flies around without any effort, it just kind of goes. And 7 being that you have to put a lot of effort in to get it to go where you want it to go. I would say that this yo-yo is about a 5. The movement is slightly above average in terms of the energy you need to put into it to get it to move quickly. The last one is precision. And this is kind of a misnomer because I don't really have a better word for it yet, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Almost catchability, where a lower number means that the yo-yo is difficult to catch, but a higher number would mean that you accidentally hit strings that you're not intending to hit. So for that, I would place this yo-yo at a 5. The yo-yo is extremely catchable. I had no issues catching it on the string. The issues that I did have were that it might hit other strings accidentally if I was not careful. With a little bit of practice, you can overcome this, but it did happen occasionally. I try to be as objective as possible, but on a personal note, I really like the way this yo-yo plays. It feels really good in the hand, feels really good on the string. You just throw it down and it just feels correct, it feels right. It's not perfect for me, but it's very close. I don't love how wide it is. I don't love wide, but I know that width is trendy, and people seem to like wider yo-yos. I am, I guess, in the minority there. There's something about this yo-yo I just really like. It feels really good. Here are my final thoughts on the movement from SF Yoyos. Overall, there's a lot to love with the movement. The complaints I had were just nitpicks, because overall this yo-yo feels great. And I really hope my characteristic system worked well. Once again, it's not good or bad, it's just how it plays. I picked up this yo-yo because people kept on saying how great it was, and I was definitely not disappointed. This makes me want to play more SF yo-yos. I picked up the BMC and then I looked for a Cadence ES. I'm really excited to give more SF yo-yos a shot after playing with this one. Those are my thoughts on the movement from SF Yoyos. If you didn't like my characteristics or didn't agree or think that something else should be judged instead, please let me know. I'm definitely open to suggestions. My goal here is to try to give it a relatively objective perspective on how this yo-yo plays. Thanks for watching. See you next time.